Okay, for this video, we got a roundup of some news, some hot fixes, some pretty funny bugs, and then I'm also going to break down for you how I'm currently feeling about Season 1, what I expect for the future of the seasons, and what I hopefully will see on this Friday dev chat, because on Friday, that's July 28th, there's going to be a dev chat, and because we're live every single day, we will be covering that when it goes live. You can find all those links down below. So let's get going with today's roundup. All right, first things first, Adam Fletcher tweeted out that there was a new patch update. So if we go look at the actual patch notes, this is focused mostly on bug fixes. If you did not know, there was a pretty significant amount of bugs that got introduced with Season 1. Some of them are still in the game. For instance, like the Necromancer's Imperfectly Balanced is still bugged. Ironic name, we know. But there were some other really hilarious bugs. In fact, one so much so that they put it in here twice. Acquiring or reallocating season blessings will now clear the vendor buyback, and they copy-pasted it and put the exact same thing here. What is this about? Well, this is actually quite hilarious. You see, there was a bug in the game where the season blessings that you get from those, smoldering ashes, when you actually put those into the gold seasonal blessing and then sowed uniques and then remove them, you could buy the uniques back for cheaper, basically generating free gold. You could sell something and buy it back and just kind of create a gold looping exploit. So people were farming, like 40 million gold an hour, just click, and just spamming, getting tons of gold. So that one got bug fixed so hard. Apparently it gets 2 spots within the patch notes. I'm sad to see this one got patched, but it makes sense. Basically, the Tree of Whispers cache that would drop, you could drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up 10 times, and it would instantly give you the reward as if you had done all 10 of them, therefore bypassing that portion of the season journey. And this is the last one I'll mention here. The rest are just minor bug fixes, but this is about the major drama that was going on, which is the default focus on the Battle Pass screen is now the Season Journey button. So basically what would happen before is if you would go into the, basically your Seasonal tab there on your menu, and you had your controller, the first button you push would activate the Battle Pass, and there was no pop-up screen or anything confirming that. They both changed that it's no longer the first one highlighted, as well as the activation of it will have a confirmation pop-up. This way you're not accidentally, cheesily using your Battle Pass at the last second and you really didn't mean to. That was quite a big complaint. Now, there is going to be a dev live stream on Friday. This is much like the one we had last time. They're going to be talking about the 1.1.1 patch, which will include the Sorcerer and Barbarian changes, bug fixes, and features, etc. So let's talk about what that could mean. We will be covering it live, so you can always check it out on the live stream, but we're pretty sure that Sorcerer Barbarians are going to get some kind of buffs or at least compensation for some of the issues they're running into. I also think it's kind of disappointing if you look at the Barbarian Hearts. Barbarian Hearts don't seem very good. They're all, like, it's super, just sometimes ignores damage and heals you instead. They're rather boring. And then, of course, Sorcerer has been beat to death so much with being memed on that we all know why they're buffing Sorcerer. But the word here, features, actually strikes out to me, and I really hope that they go more into the future of the seasons. One of the things they mentioned before was that they want to make sure that the seasons will have new in-game content, specifically catered to the new leaderboards that are coming. Now, they said that the timeline for this is effectively Season 3. So we have months of Season 1, we have all of Season 2, and then by Season 3, we should be seeing some major in-game content. This actually correlates about the same time that I feel like is the longest I'm willing to give the game in order to see when the content comes. If you want to know my opinion about the game currently, I am enjoying the Season 1. I'm not a giant show for it or anything. I'm going to be honest for you. I think the Caged Hearts are fun. I like it. But once you've experienced the Caged Hearts, Season 1 does sort of feel the same. After that point, I'm going nice and slow. I'm not going to rush through this. And I've seen all of the min-max strategies people are doing, which is, going in, resetting dungeons, doing menu simulators. I'll be honest. I hate that style of gameplay. I actually don't like min-maxing, and I don't really see a reason to do it. There's no leaderboards. There's no challenge. There's no rush to the end. Uber Lilith was the coolest challenge in the game, in my opinion, and I felt the most satisfied when I cleared her finally. But now it will only be easier because we have Caged Hearts. So I'm not necessarily pushing as fast as I can because I don't see a reason to yet. Season 1 added some new fun mechanics in the game, but it didn't add any new in-game content. So if you're wanting to know what I'm looking for, I'm going to give them Season 2, to hopefully add more content into the game. And by season 3, in my opinion, they should have the game ironed out enough that we should be seeing full new in-game additions to content. I'm talking what I want to see is I want to see new pinnacle bosses. In fact, we even talked about, or they talked about in their dev live stream, somebody asked a question about, can we see these new campaign bosses, maybe redo them? And everyone kind of laughed and looked at each other and said, well, we're not ready to talk about that yet. I'm really hoping that means bosses like Astaroth, etc., become new challenge bosses. We need more things to strive for in the game. I know one of the biggest complaints is like the in-game itemization and all of that's bad, but like even if we put the itemization aside of it, the itemization can be somewhat saved by having challenges that require you to itemize certain ways. So if we have new pinnacle bosses that require new things, new mechanics in order to beat them, there will be reasons for us to build certain builds. At the moment, Uber Lilith is like the one big challenge that we have. Nightmare Dungeons just got nerfed a lot. So there isn't like a whole lot of in-game content. And Season 1 didn't really add a whole lot of in-game content. So if you're asking me personally, my feelings, while I enjoy Season 1, it's more of an early game thing. You get to try out the cage charts fairly early, which is why I'm going slow. I don't see a reason to push hard this season, in my personal opinion. By Season 2, I would like to see that it's a smoother launch, not as many bugs, because Season 1 introduced a lot of bugs. So I'd like to see Season 2, hopefully they fix the stash tab issue by then. We have no bugs upon launch. We have some more content than just Season 1 added. And then by Season 3, if you're asking me personally, I think by Season 3, that needs to be their first really big, I'm talking big dick content update. We want to see new bosses. We want to see leaderboards, maybe infinite scaling nightmare tier dungeons to go from like 100 to, all the way to 200 or something, or just continually going in the farthest you can go, almost like Greater Rifts. The farther you can go, the higher on the leaderboard you'll be, etc. We're going to want to see some reasons to push fast, some reasons to do all the min-max strategies that people are doing right now, and things to actually push for outside of creating your own sandbox challenge with other players. I want to see the game itself give us that challenge and say, this is what we want you to go try to accomplish. Now go try to be that. I want to see the game offer that. I also want a ability to be able to chase the Uber uniques, okay? So one of my issues is actually with the Uber uniques, and I know that I'm never going to get one, and Kyra actually made a good point in our podcast, which is that when the Uber uniques actually show up, if you see someone with it, you don't actually feel like, wow, that guy's a grinder. You don't actually feel like he has some massive skill in the game or anything. What you think when you actually see him is, oh, he's just a lucky piece of that happened to get an Uber unique. It doesn't say anything about that person as a player. It's just they got lucky. In fact, someone could literally not even be level 100 and receive an Uber unique. I would much rather they go down the Star Wars Galaxies path. You remember Jedi and Star Wars Galaxies way back in the day where they were so rare and hard to actually acquire that you saw them few and far between. But when you saw one, you know a player put a significant amount of effort into actually becoming a Jedi. I think that can be established in a number of ways, but what if you had to have, like, let's say 3 classes at level 100, or maybe even had to have them there at hardcore, or you had to beat Uber Lilith on multiple classes and then unlock a quest chain line, almost like Thunder Fury, that you had to go down and do this hard quest chain line in order to actually build an Uber unique, and then you got to choose one of them or something. And let's say that Blizzard still wants the Uber uniques to be some rare lottery drop. There is a multitude of these Uber uniques. I don't understand why all of the Uber uniques have to be the lottery drops. Couldn't we make Harlequin Crest like the super rare one you can only get from the way it is right now? Same with the Grandfather, and all of the other ones are acquirable by methods that are hard and difficult, but actually keyword acquirable, meaning when you see them, then that means that person achieved something. In fact, it might even give you some chase in the game to make you feel like a reason to continue grinding or even do those min-max strategies we talked about earlier in order to progress fast enough so maybe you can be one of the first people to get them within the season, etc. I think there is ways to add already in the game more in-game content. We just have to enable those sort of things to happen. So for me, to wrap it up, how I'm feeling about Season 1 is there's no reason for me to push hard. I'm just going to enjoy my time, go slow, mess around with the hardcore. I'm doing a build that I haven't even looked up. I'm just messing around with the shadow stuff, the minion stuff, and the cage charts I actually like, just seeing how strong I can get a minion. I'll start placing legendaries here soon enough once I get into World Tier 3. But I'm just poking along. I am a Sunday driver for Season 1 because I think that's what Season 1 is for. You just mess around, you have fun with the hearts. I don't see a reason for me to push right now. Going into Season 2, I would like to have some of the reasons to push. And then by Season 3, I think Season 3 should be an example of a very solid, good season in which it really brings a lot of the people to be very excited and feel competitive with each other. That is my timeline. And if by season 3 that is not delivered, I personally will feel disappointed. But I'm willing to give it until then to really see exactly how the game rounds out. It's a live service game. That's my copium, at least. We'll see exactly what it's like by then. But that's my personal opinion on Season 1, the future of seasons, as well as the current state of the game. Couple quick plugs for myself at the end. Come on by the live stream at Darth Microtransaction. We're live every day as of the posting of our videos. And then subscribe to the DM Clips channel for more clips, random little tidbits, and kind of fun stuff. Nothing too serious here. I will have all of the links down below. We're actually getting really close to 100,000 subscribers on the channel. That's about it. Love you all. See you on the next video.